So this past weekend we had the opportunity to play Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles 2 at Jump Festa, man. And it was a pretty good experience, man, and I got to get a few matches in, man, because the line wasn't that long. But some things that are new mainly are some new characters. We're going to be getting all the Hashiras. They also changed the heavy button to a different input. It's now R1 per circle. They also added team ultimates, and the demo starts you off with 2 bars that actually give you a chance to use it, because you do actually have to use 2 of your actual ultimate bars to get off these dual ultimates. You and the other person that you're playing with has to have the ultimate bar all the way up to be able to use the dual ultimates. And you can also switch special moves, with them giving you the option to switch the special moves from Nezuko. I didn't actually get to do this in the match, but this is actually pretty cool that you're going to get to switch your ultimates in Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles 2, man. But today's anime question is going to be, which character are you actually looking forward to playing the most in this game, man? Let me know in the comments, and also let me know, some more things that you feel about Demon Slayer, your favorite characters, all that stuff, man. But if this is anything you might be interested in, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn the bell, do all those nice things, and let's go ahead and hop straight into this breakdown. So when we talk about Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles, the first thing we're going to talk about is the presentation. And for the most part, the menu was, pretty similar to what we saw from the last one. It may not be the most accurate considering the demo roster was pretty small compared to the actual roster of the first game. The sounds were pretty solid, and it felt like it was playing Demon Slayer. And of course, the art and the sounds and all that stuff was going to be good because the last game was good with that. We move over to the game modes. The main game modes that we know we're going to be having for sure is going to be Versus, Story Mode, also Practice, and a Ranked Mode. Hopefully with some adjustments to the matchmaking, since that was one of the biggest issues that actually hurt the first game when it came out. We move over to some things with the roster. The roster that we had from the actual demo was Tanjiro from the Hashira training arc. We also had Nezuko, pretty similar to the first game. We had Muichiro, we also had Mitsuri, we had Gyutaro and Daki, and we also had Gyoko. And even though this character wasn't playable in the demo, I think it's pretty much confirmed, since we saw on the website that other characters were doing ultimates on him, that we're going to get Hatengu, the upper 4 demon, or more specifically Zohakuten, the one of hatred from the Swordsman's Village arc, as an actual playable character. I kind of figured if they did make this character playable, they would actually pick the version of hatred, since this was the one that actually got some of the most action in the season. We actually look at the characters though, like I said, for the most part, Tanjiro with the Hashira training arc, he seemed a little bit similar to what we saw from the past Demon Slayer game, besides, with the fact that him mainly having flames engulfed around his sword throughout his combos. Nezuko was also pretty similar to the first game, with her having pretty much the same slashing techniques that she was using in the last game. We move over to Muichiro though, he was pretty interesting. He had a piercing thrust move. He also had a good looping slash move that I saw some characters actually looping very well and spamming it, and he also had a counter technique which was very good. But one of the things that I really enjoyed about Muichiro was the fact that his dash was cool, where it left a mist after image, so he was leaving a lot of mist on the field when he was moving around, and I think he's really going to be an interesting character to play with, especially with the fact that he has that counter. I think he might play a little bit similar to Gyu since he has that counter, but we're just going to be pretty interesting to see how people play with this character. Moving to Mitsuru, I think she was a pretty fast character. Of course we knew this since her sword bends and stuff like that, and she had a pretty interesting jumping loop slash. I didn't get to see all her techniques, but her ultimate technique also looked pretty cool. Of course we know the cinematics are going to be very good in this game, but her moves seem simple, but they seem like they're effective, with her also having some piercing techniques that actually can loop into her slashing technique very well. With Gyutaro and Daki, they were pretty similar to what they were from the first game. The only difference is that they weren't separate character slots. They actually were a single character together, but you can switch out from them. So each of them has their own unique move set that was pretty similar to what it was in the first game, and they also had their own ultimate, but they could also do a joint ultimate if they both had both of the meters up and you had 2 special meters, then you would actually be able to get the joint ultimate with them together. But if you didn't have the meter filled up, you'd get the separate ultimates from the characters, but besides that, they're pretty similar, with them also applying the poison and things like that. The main character that I enjoyed playing with though was Gyoko. He was pretty cool because he had 3 moves. One of them was like a pot octopus, which didn't have the best range, but I think it had some pretty good damage. He also had like a fish shot where he shoots fishes out, and this one was like a little bit of a zoning move. I like the activation, and I just like the way that it was tracking very well. And he also had a punch move that was very similar to Akasa, and I thought this one was a very good move for like starting your combos. Even though you can't really just follow up immediately with it, I'd recommend using the punch move and then going into the fish shot. But also he moved around pretty good, and he had a pretty good armored smash move. But the main thing with him was definitely his quick movement and the fact that he could zone and also close the distance and loop you pretty good. And he also had a good grab that I didn't actually get any gameplay of, but it's basically a range grab where he comes out from the ground with water. So he was a pretty interesting character. As far as the performance of the game in general, I think it was pretty similar to the first game for the most part. If I'm being honest with you, it did feel a little bit faster, and it did feel like you can move a little bit smoother, and maybe there was a little bit less input delay. As far as the controls and the settings, I didn't really get to customize anything, and there weren't really much costume options in the demo. Only thing that was really changed was the fact that there was a new heavy attack, like the new button was changed, and also the fact that they had the team ultimates. As far as the gameplay, some things that I know people asked about from the last game, you can still use the assist on wake ups. When you're on the ground and you're in that invulnerable state, you can still send the assist out to actually start your combo. Also, whenever you're in surge mode, if you tag in your teammate, they'll come out and surge as well. And also while you're in surge, I know somebody asked about having up and down cinematic combos. They are not adding that. They only have the cinematic in the neutral combo, so they're still not adding new cinematics for whenever you do the up or the down combo. But to wrap things up, as far as some updates with the game, how is it better? The main things that I think makes it better is the team ultimates. The game does seem a little bit more responsive, but I don't think the gameplay was really the issue with the first game. It was definitely probably the zoners and probably the players, and also probably needing a complete game with a complete roster. So I do think if this game releases with an actual complete roster, and if they can do some good updates to actually keep the game up to date faster, I do think Bandai and some of these companies have actually been doing a lot better of updating their games more frequently. They can't do this thing where they don't update the game for like 3 or 4 months, because that's just going to have it to die out. But let me know how you actually feel about some of the gameplay you've been seeing from Demon Slayer Hinokami Chronicles, and I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn the bell so you can see whenever I get more extra or early access content. Hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one, man. We up.